the sands upon the shore, more than the colors of the rainbow or the poet's metaphor, more constant than the movement of the ocean's ebb and flow, more than you can fathom. You are love more than you know. Our love, oh yeah, you. Our love, more than the heat of summer or the power of the sun, more than the mystery of the full moon when the day is finally done, more than the countless icy crystals in the winter's falling snow, beyond your comprehension. You are love more than you know, more than my word.
There are no hopeless situations. There are only people who have grown hopeless about them. Good evening, this is Shirley T. Burke, and this is Something Different. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is our last show for the season. We might make up one later, but tonight is our last night, and we are real excited about who we have on tonight. And we're hoping that you will enjoy the show and the information and take advantage of some of the things that we talk about. Real good information coming up. We are glad that our guest tonight has the first guest. You know, I like to have people introduce themselves. So what will happen here is we're going to have some good information about some good, what do you call it?
Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate Recovery. Please tell us about that young lady.
Well,
introduce yourself.
My name is Shirley Buckner, and I work with Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Shalom Baptist Church every Friday evening at 7 o'clock.
Every Friday evening. Awesome. Awesome. And when you say recovery, talk about that a little bit, because you have some real pain behind that recovery word.
Yes, we do. And if we were in a recovery, if we were in one of our small group meetings, I would introduce myself. Hello, I'm Shirley, a believer who struggles with codependency. And I didn't know I was codependent until 4 years ago, and somebody told me.
Really?
Yes.
How did it make you feel?
Well, I was on the phone with my life coach, actually, and I was more, not really coaching that night. She was acting more of a counselor because I was lamenting about my daughter who was struggling in her own pill addiction.
Yes.
She'd been a drug addict for over 10 years, and I couldn't understand why she wouldn't listen to me, why she wouldn't do what I told her to do. I had all the answers. I knew exactly how to fix her, but she wasn't listening.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
And so Deborah says, she interrupted me, and she said, would you like for me to tell you what the problem is? And I said, yes. Like really no, but okay, go ahead, tell me what my problem is. She said, you're a codependent. Well, when she said that, I didn't hear anything after that.
Really?
I just kind of went off on my own little, conversation in my own head, thinking, she don't know me.
Yeah.
I am not a codependent.
Yes.
I'm not dependent on anybody but God, and sometimes that's questionable. And if she were to talk to my mother would say, Cheryl's been Miss Independent since she was 4.
In the womb, too.
That's right.
That story right there.
So, I listened to her very politely because she's a very, very wise woman. And the next thing I heard her say was, check it out. Just do some research, check it out, and let me know what you think. So I said, okay, well, I'll just throw that on the pile with all the other things I have to do. So the next day, I'm working in my office on my computer, and that word codependent comes to mind.
Yes.
And I thought, well, I'll just Google it a little bit, just for kicks. So all these links come up, and I click on the first one, and it pops up on my screen, and Shirley T.
What did it say, Shirley?
The only thing missing was my picture, because I was a codependent.
I love your answer. What's your picture?
That was the only thing missing.
That is too funny, Shirley.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
So,
what did it say?
It said,
just generally.
Generally, it was exactly like I had grown up with a mother who didn't have a pill addiction, but she liked to take a pill rather than fix things.
Yeah.
And so I consequently don't hardly take a pill for anything. I mean, my doctor will, are you taking your pills? Or,
Yeah.
And it's because of what I've seen, but my daughter has struggled with the pills.
Yes, yeah.
And so we got in. I knew Celebrate Recovery was offered in my church. I started going because I wanted to fix it. I didn't want to be that way, and I wanted to help my daughter because that's what a mother does anyway.
Totally.
But so I started going. Well, then my daughter had gotten out of recovery, and she wanted to go too, which I was very excited about.
Yes, yes.
But they only had one women's group, so we searched and found Mechanicsville, a group that met there, and then started attending there. We're both working in leadership roles, and now we're meeting at a new church.
Awesome.
Got a lot bigger space right on Mechanicsville Turnpike.
Really? So it's easy to get to?
Very easy. It's
great.
Right past Lowe's. It's Shalom Baptist Church. Shalom.
Okay.
And once you pass Lowe's, if you just get in the right lane, there's a little turn lane, and you can take a right, and the church parking lot is on the left.
Well, do you have an address for that? Or
Yes.
just, okay.
Yep. 6395 Mechanicsville Turnpike.
6395. 6395. That's a good address to know if you have someone that needs assistance and support, right?
Right, that's right. And we've seen people coming out of jail that come there. We have a lady who, she's so funny, she teaches Bible study in jail, and she had 2 women getting out, and so she thought she would bring them because they needed it.
Yeah.
Well, she found out she needed it worse than they did.
Isn't life like that?
It
And
is.
this is what our sin program is about, in dealing with pain and guilt and stuff like this. And people say, I don't need this, but if you breathe and you have a need for support and help.
We've all been hurt.
Yes, yes.
We have anger issues, hurt issues.
Yes.
We've dealt with, physical abuse, sexual
Oh,
abuse.
God, yes.
You
yes.
name it.
Yes.
I mean, we have people there in our group that have problems with time management, and then, like I said, we have people there who've just gotten out of prison.
I think it's
Everything in
wonderful.
between.
Yeah, I love that you're there for whomever.
Yeah.
Whomever, support.
Absolutely.
Now, how long are your programs? You have them on Friday nights?
We do,
Okay.
and there's actually 2 different programs. We have a regular Friday night program where we start music at 7 o'clock.
Oh, music.
And then we'll either have one week we'll listen to a testimony, the next week we'll listen to a lesson, and it's based on the 12 principles. It's similar to AA, but it's a Christian version.
Okay.
God is our higher power.
Yeah, okay.
So we do that on Fridays. We start at 7, and then once we have the big group meeting, then we break into our small groups, and that's where men go into their group, women go into theirs. And then we're usually done by 9 o'clock.
When you say they go into the group, you all are not separating them by age, are you?
No.
You don't.
No.
So if you have a teenager, a young lady that's a teenager, she will go into with the female group.
Well, we're working on a teen group.
Oh, okay.
And that will be, we don't have that set up yet. I think Heather, I'm going to try to talk to Heather about it. I think she'd be awesome doing that. So we've got the material, and I would say within the next 4 weeks.
Awesome.
we'll be
That's
starting
great.
that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Go ahead.
Oh, and then we have another study that we've just completed what's called a step study, and that's more in depth. That's where you're in a lot smaller group and you really start digging into some issues.
Yes. Issues.
And one thing I will stress and let everybody know that anonymity and confidentiality is very important.
Yes, it's crucial. That's why a lot of people don't participate in some programs.
Yeah, we want people to feel safe that they can come and share their stuff.
Right. Give that address again.
6395 Mechanicsville Turnpike, just past Lowe's.
And if they want to, do you let people contact you if they
Sure,
want? So if you want to give your number where they can call you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 804-537-0679.
Do it again.
804-537-0679.
And what's the name of the program again?
Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate. I like that. Celebrate
and
Recovery.
we do.
Cheryl called me and asked about being on the program, and I'm grateful for that because it's something different.
Yeah.
And we want to help the community in any way we can. And resources, sometimes people don't know about the various resources. And if you'll drive to D.C. to see a ball game, maybe you'll come to Mechanicsville for some recovery.
That's right. Well, you know what? I drive from Williamsburg. I actually live in Williamsburg, and I drive there every Friday night.
I'm telling you.
It's that good.
And she's up here tonight telling us about this. So that's why I tell it to give that address again, telephone, contact number.
Address is 6395 Mechanicsville Turnpike, Phone number is 804-537-0679.
And this is Cheryl.
This is Cheryl.
Yeah, this is Cheryl. Cheryl, anything else you want to tell the audience before you leave this?
I do.
Okay.
There is something I'd like to share because my desire, it's incredible what happened this afternoon to me.
Really?
I was home practicing for a speech that I've got to give on Friday and talking about Celebrate Recovery. And my neighbor that lived upstairs, I've known him since 1998. He's battled alcoholism and depression. He committed suicide today. Today at 4 o'clock, right around 4 o'clock.
Cheryl.
Scared me to death. I'm sitting there working and I see these vehicles pull up unmarked and they're pulling out guns and stuff.
Oh, really?
And so I wanted to find out what was going on, and she said there was an incident, and then I found out it was him. And I talked to his wife. They were divorced, and the first thing I said was, "It's not your fault."
Isn't it the truth?
It's not your fault. And she was trying to get there to him. She knew what he was going to do, and she wanted to try to get him some help.
Yes.
So I'm here telling everybody tonight, please do not let yourself get that desperate.
Yes.
It's not worth it. There's always hope. As long as you're breathing, there is always hope.
Do you know I say that?
Yep.
Always hope. I saw a sign when I was on our way to our retreat that we had for national speakers, and it says, "Hope 5 miles down the road." And I think they were talking about VCU or something. But I was thinking, all of us can't go that 5 miles.
Yeah, that's
all
right.
of us cannot go that 5 miles. We have to have it here. It's an internal thing. And
you have
always,
to make a choice.
Yes.
You have to make
Totally.
that choice.
That is something. I'm glad you shared that, because this is what her program is all about.
This is what we're about.
We're there for support, and Friday nights.
Friday nights, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
See you there.
Mechanicsville, Virginia.
Yep.
All right, Shirley's going to be in the studio, and if you want to call and ask questions or have comments, we're going to take calls after 8 o'clock. But she will be here. And thank you so much, Cheryl, for coming
Very
here.
welcome.
I appreciate
Thank you for letting us
come letting you. That's wonderful. Thanks so much for asking, because that's what happens when you ask.
That's right.
Yes, we're in the National Speakers together. Cheryl is a speaker, and I know that's helping you with what you're doing there, but sometimes you forget all about that because you're a mama.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a mama that's practicing non-codependency.
That's right. That's right.
Cheryl, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now, we're going to take a break, and my next guest is going to come up, but don't leave us. Don't leave us. You will be pleasantly surprised about our next guest and what we're about to present. Cheryl, thank you again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Okay.
More than the clouds up in the heavens, more than the sands upon the shore, more than the colors of the rainbow or the poet's metaphor, more constant than the movement of the ocean's ebb and flow, more than you can fathom. You are love more than you know. Our love, oh yeah, you. Our love,
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully you noticed some among the flowers here that we have a little extra decoration tonight. And there's one over here with a red top. Those of you that know me know I love red, so I left my red scarf that Mita gave me in the car. And another friend of mine, Dr. Merlin Scott, gave me a red something too, so I'm going to have to be wearing that later. But we're going to talk about this red top over here, and the young lady's going to introduce herself. Tell the audience who you are, girl.
I'm Johanna Brott, and I own a company, new startup, and it's called Birdler. And what I do is I make handcrafted bird feeders. As you can see, I've got several different colors of my bird feeders here tonight.
Hold that red one up, Johanna.
And
yes. I love it.
She loves my red stuff.
Yes, yes.
So what I do is I make a spreadable wild bird food, which you spread into the holes, which is right here.
Yeah.
It comes in two varieties, the original blend and a fruit and nut blend. It's all made with natural ingredients. If you were to eat it, you wouldn't die or anything.
You wouldn't get sick. Go ahead.
It's fine. In fact, I'll try it if you like.
That is neat. How'd you get into this?
Well, first of all, I lost my job about 2 years ago, and gave me a long time to really think about what I was doing with my life. And I thought, well, this is an opportune time to really reevaluate my life, what I wanted to do. And I thought, well, I would like to finally do something that I love to do.
That you love to do.
Yeah.
Finally do so. A lot of people are there thinking
Yeah.
that, Johanna.
And I've always wanted to own a business.
Yeah,
And having a great love for birds, and I was sitting outside watching them, and I was thinking, you know, I would really like to do something with the birds. And I had been buying food at a local store, and I decided that I would try and make my own blend, which I did.
Yeah.
And I tried it out, and then I thought, well, now I need to make feeders. So I made feeders and hung them up, and the birds just came in droves. Yeah.
Really?
Just beautiful birds. And, you know, cardinals, blue jays, robins, lots of bluebirds.
Yeah.
Bluebirds love it.
How many of these do you have in your yard?
I have about 3 of them hanging.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And believe me, when the starlings come in or the crows, they'll eat it up fast. So I like to try and reserve it for my smaller birds.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, they'll gobble it up pretty quick, especially in the wintertime, because in the wintertime, the food that is, the fatty food that's in this blends is very good for their feathers. It keeps them warm in the wintertime, and it provides them the food that is not readily available in the wintertime.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So
these bird houses, I call them bird houses, but you call them feeders.
Feeders.
It's a difference, and I'm calling. I'm
Yes.
looking. These are feeders.
I've
These
called
are
them
not
bird
out.
houses too.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the top, but I just love the shape of them. I know you're creating some others because you say you were experimenting. And you had a round one. You said it a circle.
Yeah, I had one in a circle shape before, and it was just too labor intensive, and so I decided to come up with a different design. I'm planning on making more designs, so be sure to look on my website, which is www.birdallure.com.
How you spell alert?
It's BIRDALLURE.
Okay, good.
And my email address is birdallure.
You don't write to that often. So
I
that's what I
don't say it often either.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Go ahead.
Birdallure at Verizon.net.
Okay, Bird Alert.
I'm also featured on Facebook, and trying to start a blog on my new website.
Really?
Which will feature information on birds, where you can go and do some great birding around. Place where people can ask questions and I can get answers for them.
Awesome.
So, hoping for a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and this is how you get it, people, because there are a lot of people out there that have fascination with birds and love birds here in this area.
Definitely.
The conversations we have had, you talked about, I think in your yard, they're observing the birds.
Oh yeah.
It's been therapeutic almost at times.
It is.
And,
it's very
anything with nature,
Just listening to all the different sounds of the different birds. I never realized there are some birds that have a multitude of songs.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just beautiful.
Have you ever taking anything with your camera with those birds?
I have a lot of pictures of the birds on the feeders and flying and eating food. And I'm hoping to do some videos of some of the interactions because it's very interesting to watch. If you like watching squirrels, they're very interesting too.
Because somebody had something on Facebook one time that it showed eagles or some birds, and it was like time. You know how they do stuff, and as things happen, as the time pass, that would be very interesting. So give that website again. You don't have it up there now, but that's in the future. Give that website again.
It's www.birdallure.com. BIRDALLURE.
And if they want to get in touch with you in reference to your
if you
feeders,
can call me at 804-357-5812 or via email, which is birdallure again at verizon.net.
Okay.
So.
Okay, one more time, because I'm sure there's some people out there that had to go get a pen.
3 W's.
3 W's, I love it.
Birdallure.com is the website, and then it's birdallure at verizon.net. 804-357-5812.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us about your wares or your interests? You got rabbits. You're interested in rabbits too.
I used to have rabbits.
I
don't have them anymore.
When I was little, I used to have them.
They're all gone. But it's another great love of mine. I love all animals, so it's.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you donate part of your proceeds.
That's the other thing I forgot to mention is that I do donate 10% of my income. To local to charities such as Richmond Animal League, the Audubon Society, and there's a the Rabbit Society, I believe it's called.
Yeah, the young lady, she runs a company called Minima, Kirsten Ziegler. She has rabbits. She owns rabbits, and
I think you told me about her.
Yeah. It just brought back memories from when I was little, and that gray rabbits, white rabbits, black rabbits, brown rabbits. I had to feed them, so we were pretty close.
Birds are very birds are very interesting, but so are rabbits.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience?
Please look me up.
I'm
looking forward to a lot of people liking my Facebook page, so I'm going to be posting a lot of things on there and updates to the website.
Are you still
so
on
as
Etsy?
long as the website's not up, I mean it should be up within a week or so, and but I will be posting things on Facebook to that.
Oh, good. Are you on Etsy too? Is that right?
I am on Etsy, but I used to have Birdallure on Etsy, but I've taken it off.
Oh, okay.
But I do artwork, and
another
that's something
talent.
Different.
Yes, artwork.
And that's under JMB Designs.
JMB
that's on
Designs.
Etsy.
JMB, and the first 3 letters are capitalized, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
That's artwork. So you have
artwork
a lot
and
of
photography.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of things now.
Yes, I'm a busy lady.
Yes. Johanna is going to be in the stay in the studio, but if you have questions you want to ask her about her wares or anything about the birds, and just call. You can call in later, and she will be here to answer them.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you showing up tonight.
Oh, thank
you
so
much. Thank you so
for having
much.
me here.
Yes. Anything else you want to share?
No.
Okay,
that
great.
Should be it.
Great.
Just what a wonderful lady you are.
Oh, that
and
is kind.
Nice it was to meet you.
Oh, girl, we didn't tell them how we met. That's
No,
the
we
smallest. What is that place called? It's St. Panera's is the
Starbucks.
It's the smallest Starbucks in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, it is.
It's at Gaden Crossing. But it's just like women do. You were there, and I sat down to eat something, and I said something to you. This is how I know you.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Women do stuff like that.
Yeah, and we just started talking, and before I knew it,
yes, here we are.
I had to call you.
Here we are.
And from there, here we are.
Here we are.
So,
Here we are. I appreciate you saying that. I so appreciate that. It has meant a lot to know you, and I just love that red top. So we're going to have to get something and put STB on it.
Did you want to buy one of these?
Yes, I do.
Because I can give you a special deal.
All right. I'll talk.
Not only that, I forgot to tell you that for those who are kind of skeptical, not sure that they want to invest in a big feeder, I also make a smaller one and combine it with the 8-ounce container where you can. It's like a starter kit for
Starter
folks,
kits,
so they can just try it out and see if they like it.
Yeah.
A little less expensive package deal. So
Okay, so a smaller
look at
smaller
it.
one. Yeah, but we like the size. Yeah, we like the size of that.
So here's the
See?
feeder.
Yeah, see how? Yeah, and that's the bird
Yes.
food. That's a
There's
larger
the bird
container.
food. This is the 16-ounce, and then we have an 8-ounce, and then we also have. I have some samples that you can try out as well.
And the thing I like what you say, they'll hang over.
Yeah, the birds
and-
will just. They'll come up and you put the food in the holes here, and then just spread it on. You don't have to be neat about it. The birds will come and perch on here, and they'll eat the food out of the holes. Sometimes they sit up here and they hang over with their
Yeah.
heads, and woodpeckers love this thing. But so do my bluebirds.
Bluebirds,
So I have many different colors.
Yes.
So if you don't see a color you like,
Just ask for it.
ask for it.
Are you willing
And
to?
I'm willing to, and I'm also willing to do custom feeders.
That's what I'm about to ask. Were you willing
Yeah.
to do? That's exactly
So
what
you
I'm
know,
about
if
to
you
ask.
like
Great. A different little design.
Virginia Tech or something different, you want
yeah.
maybe painting on the side, different,
Yeah, special order.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for coming. I appreciate this.
Okay.
One more time, give you information.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
You want me to say www again?
Uh-huh.
Birdalert.com and birdalert@verizon.net is the
That's-
email
oh,
address,
good.
and the phone number is 804-357-5812.
Great.
Okay?
Yes. Thanks so much.
Don't
for
make me
coming.
say it again.
You remembered. You
Yes,
understand? You
yes,
remembered. Awesome.
yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Now, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. My next guest will be on. Thank you, Johanna.
All right, thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
More than the clouds up in the heavens, more than the sands upon the shore, more than the colors of the rainbow or the poet's metaphor, more constant than the movement of the ocean's ebb and flow, more than you can fathom. You are love more than you know. Our love, oh yeah, you are love. More than the heat of summer or the power of the sun, more than the mystery of the full moon when the day is finally done, more than the countless icy crystals in the winter's falling snow, beyond your comprehension, you are love more than you know, more than my words could show you.
Welcome back. Shirley T. Burke, Something Different. Glad you're staying with us. Now, I have got a captain with me right now, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. I am always excited to talk with him. He has some real tall tales, but they're true. Captain, introduce yourself, Captain.
Well, thank you so much, Shirley T. I'm Captain Jim Gordon. I've been a native of Richmond, but I really moved out of Richmond a couple of years ago. But I come back to work with people like Shirley T.
Tell them how far you came today.
I just came in from the Blue Ridge today, so left about 5 o'clock in the morning to
Yeah.
come down for our morning meeting.
Yeah, 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy your sleep tonight.
I enjoy my sleep every night.
You know that's right.
I've been a results trainer for over 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, and I became...
Tell them what results trainer is, though, first.
Well, I'm a national results trainer that trains women leaders to be more successful in 30 days. And I guarantee that with a money back.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
So my focus is not about me, it's about them. what can we do to propel their business forward? But we do more than their business.
Yes.
We all have 4 aspects of self. We have mental, physical, emotional, and from those, and spiritual.
Spiritual.
And from those 4, every women leader that I interview has at least one of those they'd like to improve in.
Yes. All of them
Sometimes
usually.
physical. But beyond that, I do something that's a little different. What I do is I ask these women, what do they hate? What do they want to get rid of? And women leaders they don't have time to think about that sort of thing. So I asked a couple of questions, and some of the most amazing things come up. Now, every woman leader knows her business goals. She knows her 30-day goals.
Yeah.
But to go beyond that, and some of them have to stop and think, what do I really hate? What do I want to get rid of?
Yes.
And that's what we do through a technique I've taught for the last 7 years. And that vanishes the problems, and it gains them what they want in 30 days or their money back.
Well, the money back. And that's, like I said, he tells tales, but they're all true. They are all true. They're all true. Results, results, results. And who would not want results?
Well, you'd be surprised. Not everybody does want results. But that's why I work for women leaders. Anyone who's successful in business, whether they're, I like to use the analogy, whether they have an eco-friendly kayak, or they have a sloop-rigged sailboat, or they have a fast speeding boat. Now, in a larger organization, they might have a yacht with other hands.
For real.
But all of those businesses are vital to those women who are running it.
Yeah.
They know they've got to survive the next 30 days and the next 30 days beyond that.
Right, right.
So they all are successful before they come to me. But then we really, really do a great service, I think, to the universe by getting them to be more productive, more healthy, and have a better time.
Have a better time. I know that's what you're about. You believe in
if
having
it's
fun.
not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
If it's not fun, he is not doing it. Go ahead, Captain.
Well, let me tell everyone how the Captain Jim came about.
Okay, please.
I got
please.
this inspiration at the Anaheim National Convention several years ago.
Tell them which convention.
Well, the National Speakers Association, Shirley T. and I are both members of the National Speakers
You're
Association.
the past president.
I'm the past president of the Virginia chapter. But at the National Convention in Anaheim, I got the inspiration that I wanted to combine my business, which was Successful Life Sailing, with my passion for boats in the water. Now, if you do a Google search on Jim Gordon, the #1 hit that comes up is a man who was a session rock drummer.
Really?
And he played for greats like Eric Clapton and others. But that's not what he's known for.
It's not?
He killed his mother, and he's incarcerated
you
in
a
California.
kid?
I'm not. This is the
Goodness,
truth.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to Google you.
So I thought, okay, well, I'll have to be behind him on Google. So then I looked, who's the #2 search on Google? Well, it was a fictional character. Do you remember Batman?
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah.
And his name is Jim.
you're
So
kidding.
rather than come up behind a criminal and a fictional character, I said, I've got to differentiate myself.
Totally.
So what I did was my passion for the water drove me to go, I'm going to become a full-fledged captain.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
I spent a year studying the Coast Guard course. I passed, and I am licensed to take up to 6 passengers for hire on the Chesapeake Bay.
Awesome. That is
In a
that
vessel
rocks.
less than 65 feet. Well, my wife and I happen to have 6 small boats.
Ah.
We're looking for the bigger boat right now.
Yes, you are. I saw someone that you were looking at.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
But that now, and that really resonated when we went to the Philadelphia convention. Everybody got it, oh, Captain Jim, and it's just, it caught on.
Yeah, yep.
And
Yeah.
it's,
You don't know
as a
who they're
speaker-
talking. Said Jim. You don't know who they're talking about.
That's right. And I sure don't want to come up behind a criminal and somebody from Batman.
Yes, indeed. For real. That is interesting. Believe it.
Well, that's what we have to do as speakers. You've differentiated yourself. There's no other Shirley T. I know of.
I'm telling you.
You're it.
Yep. And I see Shirley Temple come up, but I do come up. I'm not too far behind when you Google, because we are encouraged to Google ourselves. In fact, somebody was talking about that today, to Google yourself often to see, just like you already, already know, because it's important.
And then it's important for those of us who are. I'm not really a speaker. I do breakout sessions, but I am a trainer. and then I'm also a writer. I'm an
Right.
author.
Yes. Yes,
So-
you almost finished the book.
I'm finishing the second book. That was fun. The title of the book is Who Let the Crabs Out? Everybody loves that. It's actually 12 stories from the Chesapeake Bay and things that went wrong on the Chesapeake Bay, both from when I was a child all the way up into being an adult.
Wow, wow.
And you know, Shirley T., people are not really interested in your huge successes.
Yeah.
They relate
To
to
the failures.
these are the failures, and they're just a person like me.
Yeah, and it's like stories, like we say. They have to know your story.
Yes,
To
yeah.
relate and to
Stories
do
are what
business.
tell.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful woman this morning talking
sure.
about
Yes,
stories.
Miss Donna Highfield.
Yes.
She is magnificent.
Fabulous.
Changing the story.
Yeah.
We have to change the story.
And that's really what life is about.
Yeah.
Every day you have a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fellow I know who's here in Virginia, and his name is Robert Scheinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be Tony Robbins' protege. And he had a great thing he did years ago, and I really love this. His program was called The Invisible Path to Success. And what Tony didn't give this to him, Robert did this on his own. And what he said is everyone is the star in their own movie.
Yes. Oh my
There
goodness.
are happy movies, there
Yeah.
are sad movies,
Yep.
there are tragic movies. And whether everybody knows it or not, they attract players to play out the roles.
Have mercy. Yes, indeed.
His standpoint is behind us, unseen to us, is our director of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the director knows what the larger scale of scheme is for that. So the director will bring different players in.
Yes.
I won't go into that side, but it's like the story. Every day your life is a new script.
Yeah.
It's a new story. It's a new movie.
Yes.
And as Wayne Dyer would say, are you going to paint that like a masterpiece?
Peace, yes. How about that?
So-
Yes, I am about that. I'm about that because changing the story changes your life.
Absolutely.
Because we tell us, like me in the Heights and the roads, and I had to go to Fisherville last week,
Oh, okay.
last Thursday.
You hit the road a lot, girl.
Yeah, I do. I do. I travel for a company out of New York, but the road even looked different.
Yes.
I was past, before I was behind the trucks going 20 miles an hour, those big trucks. I was passing trucks last week. Because I said 55 miles and 65 miles per hour on Afton Mountains, it must be all right to drive this thing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I had to change my story. I had to.
You have to create a new story about what you really want.
Yeah, I have to talk in the present tense. So I'm still practicing that. That is one of my biggest fears is the height thing. Whether it's a road that like the one down on 95 going towards Petersburg or Chester. I used to hyperventilate, just go driving under that. I don't do that anymore.
Well, that's good, but you could hyperventilate if somebody's driving really crazy on 95.
Oh yes. Somebody was driving crazy because it was in the lane to come off Boulevard, and they didn't need to be, they didn't want to, they was about to get back on. I heard them got around in case something happened.
When you change your thought process,
You change your life.
you change your life, but then you also want to see a bigger view.
Yeah.
So I drove to hospitals. I worked for hospitals for 27 years. And in that 27-year period, I was on the roads. This was all within 100 miles of Richmond. So I was driving 4 hours a day plus.
Wow.
I can tell you to the minute,
Right.
time of day, the distance between Richmond and all the
I understand,
hospitals that are
I
within 2
understand.
hours.
You did
But
most of it
during
in the
that, I
daytime?
began to really appreciate more of nature.
You
I
paid
also
did you pay attention, huh?
I was paying attention,
All right.
and I also use cruise control because I have a lead foot, and I
I like-
learned that doesn't work real well with the law.
Well, you know that's right.
So you always set that cruise control. But then you get out there, and you do see the road differently. And I think it's kind of like an analogy of life. When you see the road differently, you see your life differently.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally. And it's amazing. I always say it's as simple as that, and it's as hard as that.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. And in fact,
Yes.
the people who I look to, there's an author who wrote The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Dan Millman. And some very bright man who had been an author had Dan on an interview, and he said, if you could sum up all your knowledge into just a couple of words, what would it be? And Dan kind of thought for a minute, and he said, breathe.
Have mercy.
If you can just breathe.
Breathe.
So the key, and this is a simple, but mastery is what's involved. I've researched that 3 long, slow, deep breaths will not speed up your brain. They'll make your brain more efficient. You're getting more oxygen to the brain, and the brain is more efficient. The odd thing about life is that we think that if we started limiting the oxygen, that would slow our brain down.
Mm-hmm.
What it does is the opposite. It gets busy, it gets real fast and furious, and it's not getting us the results.
That's one of the things that I learned off of Rochelle's website.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, well, she works on health.
She does the breathing. She gives you like the
Right.
Triangle breathing.
Right.
And square breathing.
Yep.
And it really does matter. It matters. It matters.
Well, what happens is when you have enough oxygen, then it's sort of like a tightrope walker. Would he go out tense and nervous? No, he'd be very poised and just
Calm.
walk steadily across. And
Focus.
then the mind actually controls the body movement.
Yeah.
So, it's a great adventure. Now, how do we know that we've still got something to learn? We're still here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I haven't ever chosen, I know I've still got things to learn.
I know how much I don't know. I'm going to tell you that is.
Well, that comes from wisdom of doing a lot of things.
I'm telling you.
I said, I used to say I was the poster child for fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, F-E-A-R, fear is false evidence appearing real. So fear is always in the moment before, not during the actual event.
Yeah, the moment before.
Yeah. So there's only
anticipation. That's what I always call my thing with mountains and stuff and hills.
Yes.
I anticipate.
Right.
Before it's even there, I'm feeling the internal
and you're starting to
turmoil.
imagine what could be wrong.
Yeah, the
Right.
internal turmoil. She talked about that today.
Yes.
She
yes.
talked
I
about
thought
it.
she was a great speaker.
Yes.
I'm trying to get her to come to one of our meetings somewhere in the future.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. We were talking about Donna Highfield and whether you're a speaker or not, the things that she talked about is critical as a human being to function in a happy place, in a joyous place, in a peaceful place.
Right.
That's what her work does.
And when you're in that space, there's still going to be challenges that arise.
Oh yeah, but you handle them differently.
Yeah, and then you go back to breathing.
You go back to breathing.
If you think about it, Shirley T., if you stop breathing, you do stop breathing when several things happen or you go into shallow breath.
Mm-hmm.
If you're cold,
Yeah.
if you're frightened, if you're fearful, all of those, your breath is not deep. It's just you're basically breathing enough to keep alive.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to deep breathing, you can reset all those circuits. And from there, you can operate in a way that you can really be a benefit to others.
Yes.
And then ultimately to yourself.
Yeah. The results trainer is talking.
Well, I say that I've done so many things wrong that I've learned the right way.
I think this is what a lot of us, this is where our strength comes.
Yes.
Because it's not a failure, it's the school of hard knocks.
Yeah, and that's a tough teacher.
Yes, it is. It's crowbar from Sears is what I
That's
call
right.
it. That's what I call it, a crowbar. Been hit many times with a crowbar from Sears.
Well, the first time is usually just a tap on the shoulder.
Yeah. But
And
if
then
you don't
after
pay
that,
no
it's a
attention-
2x4. But if it's a third time, you really got to.
Yes.
The universe is saying, okay, don't do this one again.
Again, never, ever in life. How would people get in touch with you if they were interested in your results program and services that you
If
provide?
you're on LinkedIn, that is my primary connection. It's actually Captain Jim Gordon on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, I have a website, www.successfullifesailing. So that's all spelled out as one word, Successful Life Sailing. Now, Successful Life Sailing, I'm not a life coach. All I do is I train a specific technique, and then 30 days later, the person, yourself or whoever it is, produces the results.
Yeah.
So I'm in a unique category. Also, I'm available by phone, 804-399-4444.
Yeah, you can go over there and check those people out over there. They're right over there. And this
Well,
camera over
let
here.
me tell you about my phone. We have two houses, one in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
you do.
You've been to both of them,
Yeah.
one down on the Chesapeake Bay. I tell people I'm living on the edge of the 3G network.
Go ahead.
Most of the time, my information, if you call me, it will go into voicemail. But when I can get to you, I will call you back.
Yeah, you always call back.
Yes.
You always call back.
Yeah.
You always call back. Tell them again, you have a website and all too, so give them that.
www.successfullifesailing.com. You'll see on there some of where I live, some of the boats I play with. You'll also see a little bit about me. I've written a book of poetry. And then, of course,
you have? I didn't realize it was poetry.
That was a tough one. That one had to be every publisher I know turned me down.
Really?
Yes, indeed.
That's when you have to keep persevering.
Well,
live your dream.
This was something that I felt compelled to write.
Yeah.
It was 50 poems written over decades.
Oh my goodness, awesome.
So, that as Dan Pointer said, you got that out of the way, and now I'm having fun writing the next book.
I should have asked you to bring your book so you could have read one. Do you know any by heart?
No, because it's very different. For those of you who like reading poetry, there's a poet named E.E. Cummings. And he put all the letters and the words on different places on the page. Mm-hmm. And that's how mine is. It's really meant to be read.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because it might say, the ribbon of highway. So it moves down the page.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's why I think the publishers didn't want to touch it. Because it was very
unique.
Specific. It is totally unique.
Yeah.
That book is called Songbook for My Soul, Notes of the Sea.
Ooh.
Some of the poems are about the sea. Some of the poems are about personal relationships. But they're very moving, especially to women. Mm-hmm. So at first I thought it was too personal to share. And then I thought,
but that's what life, keeping it real.
That's what keeping it real. You always say that. I love that.
Keeping
I
it real.
absolutely love that.
And people don't recognize it sometimes until they're exposed to it.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're so accustomed to hearing, this. Because when people tell the straight, oh my goodness, they look at you. They look at you. We wanted one of those books. How will we get it?
Well, it's available through the website.
Oh, good.
So you can order it through the website. I did have it stocked in one of the local Richmond stores, but to be honest, I've been so busy working on all the other things I'm doing, and we travel a lot.
Yes, you all were in Venice when that man was over there getting married.
Yeah, we were in Venice.
What's his name that got married?
Oh, that was George Clooney.
Yeah, because
we were on the Grand Canal.
Yep, I was looking
and
for
we were on a cruise ship about 4 days later, and he got married there. So
yes.
My wife said, "Oh, it'd been great if we had been there." I said, "No, we're on a 12-night cruise here. We're going all around the Mediterranean.
Yes.
I'm glad George got married there. We were there." So.
Yes, you were, because I was looking at the boats around him, and I said, "What is Captain over there anywhere looking at him?" But you all had a wonderful time.
Yes, for me it was a lifetime dream for a boater.
Yeah.
Because we spent not only on the ship, which we do ships at least every year, but we also got to tour the Amalfi Coast by boat.
Ooh.
We had another fabulous region that's called Cinque Terre. It's 5 towns built into the hillsides on the water.
5 towns?
5 towns built into the hillside up in the Tuscany area. And it was so beautiful. The shore excursion was labeled off the beaten track, so that immediately got my attention.
Yeah,
but one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to.
Awesome.
So that was another 2 boat tours on that one.
I think it's fascinating. You send back pictures a lot of times while you're away?
Yeah, I do, because some of the people like it who are on Facebook, so they like the photos I post.
Yeah, we could live vicariously.
Well, it's always interesting the comments I got. I know you know Lou Heckler. Lou said, "Oh yeah, my wife and I were there a year ago on our anniversary." I went, "Fabulous! If Lou likes it,
you know it's right."
I know it's right. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Give your information again. Explain what Results is and who you work with.
Captain Jim Gordon. I'm a results trainer solely for women leaders, by referral only. So if you really wanted to work with me, you'd have to talk to someone like Shirley, Burke, or some of my other clients. I'm really for the professional leader, but only for women. And my website is successfullife.com. And what a pleasure to be with you today.
It was wonderful. We've been together all day meeting this morning, and we did something other business.
Yeah,
in
we
town.
got a little surprise for the coming December.
Yeah, and then tonight. And I appreciate you coming up here and staying.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love
5
Richmond.
o'clock in the morning.
I'm about, once a week here working with clients or one of the groups. But I enjoy Richmond. Richmond, I've always said it was a city that was more like a small town.
Yeah.
And you get to know people quick here.
You know a lot of people. You worked with the Burke Theater.
Yeah, I was with the Burke Theater for 7 years on the Burke Theater Foundation's board. A lot of people still love the Bird.
Yeah.
And I had done many things before that, but after that I became involved with the National Speakers Association, and then after that now I'm a member of both the River City Express Network, the Extraordinary Women's Exchange, and I recently joined VAMPI, which is a great name. VAMPI stands for the Virginia Meeting Planners International.
Yes.
So those are the groups I currently work with.
And all of them are basically located here in Richmond or Williamsburg.
Oh yeah, the VAMPI is all over Virginia.
Members.
But I love Virginia, and I'll travel the world, but Virginia will always be my base.
You notice that people that visit here buy property here.
Oh yes.
We were discussing today, students that come here seem to stay, and their parents move.
Yes.
I met a lot of friends that their parents have moved here because the children stayed here.
Well, something about Virginia that's great because you've got the mountains, you've got the shore. You're not far from D.C. if you want to go to D.C.
Yeah.
You can go to the Outer Banks. That's not real far.
Yeah.
So I used to refer to Richmond as a suitcase town.
Yeah.
People were willing to pack up their suitcase and go anywhere on the weekend.
Yes.
So they've always been very mobile. It's within 2 hours from everything from Richmond. So it's pretty good place to be.
Yeah, that's why a lot of companies don't mind coming here either.
Now, I can tell you something interesting about companies coming to Virginia. A lot of people don't know this, but my former partner did. Companies come to Richmond to test market because Richmond's very cliquish, and the people there want to know who you know.
Yeah.
And they have found that if people in Richmond will buy products,
they'll buy
anywhere in the United States.
Yes.
So it's a tough market, but if you pass
did y'all hear that, Richmond, VA? Did you hear that?
Yes,
Somebody knows us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Test market, a lot goes on here. I didn't realize that we were to music and real estate and to something else, but that's one of the things. Music is a big thing here, but a lot of people don't realize
the music and the restaurant business here is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's so many different bands in here, and I love to dance, so I have multiple friends in bands that I love to go hear. But a lot of people don't realize that Richmond is a restaurant town.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's for many reasons, but one of the reasons is chefs love to cook.
Yeah.
So they'll cook, and then when they get satisfied with their location or dissatisfied, they went, I could just go out and create this again.
Yeah, and I see.
So they'll go out and form another restaurant a couple years later.
I read a lot of that. That's been going on, BizSense and all like this. I'm keeping in some Richmond.com. Just different things. Just things show up and say, what? Another restaurant? Who's closing? Who's moving? And your place from off Broad Street is now up at Short Pump, huh?
Yeah.
Tower Tavern?
Cafe Tavern.
Yeah.
They're down on near Cox Road and Three Chop.
Okay.
They've opened a new place out there, but that's a wonderful little restaurant I've taken, and you've been with me. Many of our out of this world national speakers who come to visit here.
Yes. We want to talk about that. Mention that quickly. Some more about our national speakers.
The National Speakers Association is probably one of the best organizations I've ever been involved with. The National Speakers Association, it's not just speakers; it's trainers.
Yeah.
There's so many different facets. It's people who are primarily just bloggers. So for everything that you can think of, there's this wonderful cohesive group that really loves to serve people.
Right, and my thing is, any business you're in, you speak.
Yes.
Whether it's one-on-one.
Whether you know it or not.
Yes.
If you're in business, you're going to have to talk to somebody.
Right. One way or the other. So we encourage you can learn a lot there. I've learned so much by being a member of the National Speakers Association of Virginia chapter. We meet normally on the third Friday of the month.
Yes.
Right now we're meeting in Williamsburg at the Regional Library. And We are going to, what's the young man that's coming next?
Brian Walter, who's on the national board, he is coming to the library this month, and he is hilarious.
Yes,
He's
he
wonderful.
is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And we will have information on Facebook about that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And I think we have a video. Somebody suggested I put the video
Absolutely.
that he sent.
He's hilarious.
And he's good with the information with that. He
yeah,
can make you
he's,
laugh,
he's
but you
great.
learn
And
something.
Yeah, you just have to experience Brian.
I understand.
He's something else.
Yeah, I want to sign up for that evening session that he's going to have. We
Yes.
have a special evening training after our meeting.
That's the great thing about the National Speakers Association. That's what they do. They actually bring in these great speakers,
Yeah.
and then we're able to listen to their wisdom. And we only pay them to travel here and
Yes,
stay with us,
yeah,
so they're
we-
doing a big favor to
Yeah,
us.
it's part of the give back and the philosophy of the
Absolutely.
man that started this organization.
Absolutely. So it's always, an organization's always reflected by who's at the head of it.
Yes.
And we got a great one in that one.
Yes. My thing is, like you said, the leader.
Yes.
The leader.
It's a trickle down
Yeah, it's a
effect.
trickle down thing.
Yeah.
Captain,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you. What a pleasure to
Thank
be with you
so
again.
much for coming out tonight. And are you going back to the mountain or are you going to the river?
Going to the mountains tonight.
Okay.
Probably go to the river on Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Because it's beautiful going back up there too, in Madison County.
It really is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful up there.
Wow, I'm so glad you got to come and
Yeah,
experience
you look
it.
out his back window and you just see the mountains and his backyard. His wife is she's a geologist.
She's a retired geologist, but she's a master gardener.
Yes,
She
the
truly
landscape is just magnificent.
Yes.
Yes, magnificent. Well, I am so happy that you were here today, and he's a results. That's what this man is about. He works only with business professional women
Right.
on referral,
Yep.
and he has a guarantee with what he does.
Yeah.
This is it. We deal with weight loss and all this kind of stuff. Everything, a little bit, whatever that woman puts down, that's your process.
Because that's what she wants.
Yeah.
It's not what I want or what her family wants. It's what she wants.
Yes, yes,
And we want her to see her be more happy and more productive.
very true. Well, I'm going to thank all my guests that's been on with me this season. And tonight, the guests that were here, I so appreciate you all coming. And I thank my assistants, Miss Mita Moody, and the cameraman, this brother Akil, and Ward. They are so helpful when you produce something, this show. These people make it happen.
I can see that.
They make it happen, and I am just grateful for those of you who are looking in. We will have this show up on Facebook, YouTube soon, usually towards the latter end of the week. It will be up, especially if you have people that want to see it and aren't able to see it on live, because we only this side of town, certain localities. But we thank you for looking in, and we hope that you will remember that the soul would have no rainbow if the eyes had no tears. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Captain, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure so much.
Clouds up in the heavens, more than the sands upon the shore, more than the colors of the rainbow or the poet's metaphor, more constant than the movement of the ocean's ebb and flow, more than you can fathom. You are love more than you know. Our love, oh yeah, you. Our love, more than the heat of summer or the power of the sun, more than the mystery of the full moon when the day